introduce to you Cameron Brewer from Black Lives Matter.
We all saw the video, we all saw what happened. There's no reason why Betty Shelby should have been allowed to, one, return to her job, or two, go free for her crimes. I think for a long time, a lot of us have said it in quiet spaces, said it in our own homes, said it where we felt safe, but no, it's time for us to get loud about this. It's time for us to stop trying to make people feel safe about this, because I don't feel safe. I live on the northeast side. I've never felt safe a day in my life. And I look at Terence Crutcher. I know what I see. I see a face that looks like my dad, my uncles, my cousins. I wonder why didn't it happen to any of them, or why couldn't it happen to any of them? And I don't have an answer. Please follow the Black Lives Matter OKC Facebook page. We put out a lot of really good information about what's going on here in the States, what's going on here in our state, what's going on around the nation, what's going on that you can help with, what you need to be aware of. There are two initiatives that we're trying to get started right now. First things first, we need to get Betty Shelby, an admitted murderer, out of her job.
Yes.
Yes.
There's no reason that woman should still be allowed to be a police officer. Second, and this is going to be a little bit more long-term, we need to have a civilian advisory committee overseeing police departments across the nation. It's people who are not involved with the police, people who are able to stand out objectively and see when racial disparities are happening in policing practices, when there's police brutality happening, and be able to point that out and show exactly when these things are happening. We need to police the police. I say it over and over again. If you have to kill someone to do your job, you're doing your job wrong. Once again, thank you very much. I'll give you the best hand.
Thank you, Cameron. So I do think it does something to show up in person, to meet people, to get connected, and to raise consciousness. Our next speaker is Nathaniel Batchelder of the Peace House.
Great. Well, Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream when I was a senior in high school, and I've been lucky to be able to take part in some civil rights and Martin Luther King marches and other marches for other Hispanic days, Latino days out at the Capitol. And I deeply, deeply believe that we are all connected, that our destiny, whatever race and nationality we are, is tied together. And I'm tired too. I'm very tired. Consciousness is so important to raise. And we had a black president, so we're in a post-racial world. Well, nobody believes that except Rush Limbaugh. But there was a story on NPR radio the other day. These were some figures that I noted down. 13%, 24%, and 41%. And I'll close with that. African American people are 13% of the American population. Of people killed by the police, they're 24% of the population. And of the population of people who are unarmed and killed by the police, African Americans are 41%. So I say we're not living in a post-racial world, but we are working on it. Thank you.
I want to introduce Sarah Adams Cornell, activist in the Indigenous community, to come up.
Reverend Jackson posted something not that long ago. It was a quote by Langston Hughes that really resonated with me. And the quote is that justice is a blind goddess, is a thing to which we black are wise. Her bandage hides two festering sores that once perhaps were eyes. And that really resonated with me. The death of Terence Crutcher was avoidable. The death of Mojave Goodblanket was avoidable. The death of Christina Tahiwa was avoidable. The death of Jordan Evans was avoidable. And more than that, these deaths were tragedies. They were senseless. Our brown and black communities have so much in common. We have these rich, tribal, ceremonial, cultural histories. We respect and lean heavily on the knowledge of our ancestors. And we both have been targeted by the government historically and today. We bury our men and young men at an incredibly high rate because of the systematic racism that courses through the veins of every institution in our country. And the police are ill-equipped to do their job. Will we ever look at law enforcement and trust that they are here to protect us? Will we ever encounter law enforcement and not hope someone is filming? Will I ever get to a place where I don't think my safety is conditional based on what I'm wearing, how formally I'm speaking, if I'm calm and unemotional, if they saw my tribal tag, or if their life experiences with brown people were positive or negative, and how that's going to impact me? I don't know if I'll ever see a day where that will happen. But until we do, we have to come together. We have to show up for each other in places like this and in ways outside of all of these movements. We have to be there for our families. We have to still continue to really give our children the tools to protect themselves. We have to know our rights. The ACLU has a really great app that you can download so that every time you have an encounter with the police, you can record it and it sends it to them so that they will be able to keep it in case your phone is destroyed, in case it's confiscated. And that's something that we have to be vigilant on. When our people are being arrested, we have to stop and we have to film. Until we get to a place of justice, we have to do that for each other. So when I say we have to come together, that means you show up for all of them. We have to show up for our non-English speaking students when they're targeted. We have to show up for our Muslim community when they're targeted. We have to show up for our LGBT community when they're targeted. We show up for our Black community, our Native community, our Hispanic community. We have to show up for everyone. People with disabilities are being targeted by taxes, and we're all impacted by that. Let's not pretend like there aren't one of our groups that aren't impacted by what's happening right now at the state capitol. We're all impacted. We all have to show up. Yakoki.
So our final speaker for today before we do a march is Reverend Jesse Jackson of East 6th Street Christian Church.
Let me not speak for anybody else. Let me just speak for myself. I'm tired. I'm tired of doing this. But when I look around here today and I see our indigenous sisters and brothers, when I see representatives of other communities that have been marginalized, that have been picked on, that have been set apart, that are standing with us right now, I need to let you know we can't do this if we don't do it together.
Yes, sir.
There's not enough of us to do this by ourselves.
That's right.
Cameron kind of said it. Now, I was born fitting the description. Black man born in the Delta, Mississippi. I fit somebody's description. I came to Oklahoma City as a professional, as a college graduate. I still fit somebody's description. I still got pulled over. I still got profiled. I still got followed. Not so much as now that I'm old. But I got a 23-year-old son who doesn't react the same way that I react. But when he's not doing anything, if you messing with him, he wants to know what the hell's wrong with you. And he will ask you that. And he doesn't care whether you're wearing a gun and a badge or not. No matter what I've said to him. He won't react the way that I need him to react because he has a hatred toward law enforcement that began when he was 10 years old one Easter Sunday morning. We were going south on Lottie, and a police officer made a U-turn and pulled us over and shined a flashlight in the car. And I had my clergy collar on. He didn't ask for my ID. He didn't ask for my registration. He asked me on Easter Sunday morning going to sunrise service, where you going? Not do you know how fast you were going. Not why were you swerving, because I was not. Where were you going? Did I do something wrong, officer? Where are you going? I passed the church just a couple of blocks from here. I'm going to sunrise service. Did I do something wrong, officer? Nothing. And let me go. So then I had to answer questions from my son. Daddy, what did we do? Why does he hate us so? And see, that one police officer ruined it for the rest of them with him. That's a problem. It's a problem when we have some officers who can get away with what Betty Shelby got away with, and then get a paid vacation, and then get desk duty. She shot Terence Crutcher because she was afraid. She was afraid of a black man. But I'm sorry. You're a police officer in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You're going to run into black men. If you're too afraid, don't put on a gun and badge. It's as simple as that. Your fear is costing folks lives. And I'm tired. And the reason that Terence Crutcher was so heart-wrenching to me is because I went to school with Joey Crutcher, Terence's daddy. We went to seminary together. I didn't know Terence, but I knew his daddy. Everybody else is just a hashtag. But I had a connection with that family. I know Joey to be a great man. I know Joey to be a quiet man. He's a musician. He's a great singer, a great piano player. He can play anything. But he's a great spirit. And now he's got to raise somebody. He's got to raise grandkids. Because his son, his flesh and blood, was shot down, and the person that did it was not held accountable. We have got to stop looking at this and all these things as isolated events. We have a systems problem. Today is the 21st birthday of Michael Brown. 21 years ago, he was born. The same Michael Brown that lay in the streets of Ferguson, Missouri for over 4 hours as his blood ran down the street. The same Michael Brown that was somebody's baby. I don't care how big he was to Officer Darren Wilson, who shot him dead. He was somebody's baby. He was somebody's child. When people are able to flip it and blame the victim for their own oppression, we know what kind of system we're living in. The system needs reforming. The system is rotten. It's time we start dealing with these FOP contracts. It's time that people have a say in these contracts before they're signed. It's time that these officers have to get tested, not only for drugs, but also for steroids. It's time that citizens have a say in the people that are policing them. It's time for accountability. And accountability across the board. And I'm so glad, Sister Kayla, that you and other organizers did this, because I didn't have the spirit to do it. I was so angry. I couldn't operate when I was this angry. I couldn't do what I need to do. And I have a saying that I put on Facebook, that my prayer is that I'm not consumed by the hate that I hate. I can't drown you without getting wet. I don't want to fall into the same category as these people that I really despise. It ain't good for the preacher to be angry, because I know I'm not the only one. I know I got people sitting in the congregation that are just as angry as I am, that have to deal with this, because this is an absolute systems failure. This was not just Betty Shelby. This was a judicial system that failed. We have holes in the judicial system that allow officers to shoot people and then get off. This is a problem. And we can't fix it unless we fix it together. Are y'all ready to fix it together?
Yeah.
We're going to fix this thing together. So I'm going to keep my anger, but it's going to be righteous indignation. And I'm going to make it work for us. We're going to outwork these demons. We're going to outwork them, we're going to out-organize them, and we're going to agitate the hell out of them. We're going to bring the fight to them. We're going to be in their faces with these FOP contracts. They don't want to talk to us. They don't want to see us coming, but they need to be sick of us. We can't get any change if we don't show up. We got to show up for the showdown.
Amen.
And we got to do it together. They learn how to defeat one community, but they don't know what to do with us. If it's just black people that they see, if it's just indigenous people that they see, if it's just gay people that they see, if it's just Latino people that they see, they have devised strategies to beat them. But when we come like we are now, and we add to our ranks, they have to scramble to hear us. Thank you.
Amen. Bravo. Bravo.
In just a second, we're going to go ahead and make our march.